Hello, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about the process through which we can insert the data into the table which contains foreign key. Okay, so overall you can say that we will discuss about the insertion process of foreign key. So before we discuss that process, let me show you the file structure once again that we created in previous session, and then we will go and walk through the process. So for structure of the file, I will open this program. So here you can see that this is the first parent table, which is customers. And here we have created one customer ID of integer type, which is primary key that we are going to refer in our child table. And this is the customer name, another field, customer name of varchar 50. So this is all about the parent table. Now we will discuss about the child table. So here in child table we are using order ID as a integer column for which is primary key, then order number, and then customer ID, which is common field in parent and child table, and this field we will use to set up the foreign key. So you can see foreign key on this field, customer ID references from, it is taking references from customers table, customer ID column. Okay, so this is all about the structure that we have already created in our previous session. Now we will see some rules. There are some rules on foreign key table that we will discuss, like what are the rules we need to fulfill before we insert the data into the table which contains foreign key. So for that I have already created some data on my second session. I will show you that data and then we'll discuss. So first of all we will discuss about the parent table, which is customers. So here you can see we have data like this, customer ID and customer name, which is like 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Okay, now can we insert 1 to 6 here with a different customer name? Yes, we can insert. There is no rule for parent table. Okay, so make it very clear that for parent table there is no rule as in concern of foreign key. But what will happen, like if I try to insert 125 again, it will accept? No, because this is our primary key, right? So on primary key you can't insert the duplicate value, but you can insert 126, you can insert 127 as per your choice. You can select any number, just make sure that it should not be a duplicate value. So this is about uh, parent table. So let's see the example. So I will insert data. Let me retrieve that table query so that I can directly use that. Yeah. So here you can see 1 to 6. We will try to insert 1 to 6. It will give error. Why? Because it is already there. So I will make it as 1 to 7, and it is inserted. If I do select star from Sharmit 1 slash customers, so it will show that 127 is inserted. So it is clear that in parent table you can insert any data, just take care of primary key rules, otherwise everything is okay. Now we will discuss about the child table. So can I insert here that, like so far we have inserted this much of data, and there is one more thing I guess. Let me show that. I will hit the query on orders table, select star from orders. So you can see another blank value is there with 600. Okay, here it is 500. Okay, and then we have 600 with blank. Order ord 127, and it is blank. Now my question is, can we insert another record, a new record into this child table with order ID 700, let's say, and it is order number is ord 128 and customer ID 128. Can we insert this? No, we can't insert this. Why? Because here we are inserting 128 as a customer ID, which is a foreign key column, but this data is not there in customer table or parent table. So this is the rule, that whenever you are inserting any data into the child table, then it should be already there in the parent table, otherwise it will give error. So let's verify this by inserting some data to it. I will insert data using the previous query that I have already used on orders. Yeah, so here I will try to go with 128. So it shows okay, 128 is already there, so let's try with 150. So 150 is not there in the customer table, so if I hit enter it will give let me check the data first. Select star from Sharmit 1 slash orders. So in this file we have 600. Okay, so it is giving error because of the first column, because we are trying to insert with 600 and 600 is already there and it is primary key for order table, right? So let's make it as 150 and order 150. So will it accept it, this data? No, it will not accept. It will give this error. Why? Because we are getting a referential constraint error, because we are trying to insert 150 in the table, but this 150 is not there in parent table. That's why it is giving error. So if I insert 150 in this table, then we can easily insert data 150 in the child table as well. So this is the rule, that whenever you are inserting data into child table, it should be there in the parent table, otherwise it will give error. Now my next question is, can we insert null value in foreign key value? Yes, you can insert. So for that we can try. I will reuse the previous use query for orders table. Yeah, so here you can see I'm inserting, just change this, otherwise it will give primary key error here. So I make it as 900, let's say, with order ID 127. So if I try to insert this, it will accept. Why? Because we are inserting null value. So null value it can accept, but it should not be, there should not be any value which is not there in the customer or parent table. But we can insert null value. Why? Because if suppose there is a plan to change this data later, then in that case we can change, because we have null value. So later we can update the data, and for updation there is a separate rules that we will discuss in upcoming part, like how we can update the data into the null columns of foreign key. Okay, so uh, what we have discussed so far, like the rules of parent table and uh, child table for the insertion process. So in parent table you can insert any data as per your requirement. Just take care of primary key condition. If it is okay, then you can insert new data, that's not an issue. But in case of child table, you have to take care of one thing, that the whatever the data you are inserting into customer into the foreign key column, it should be there in the customer table. If it is not there, then it will give referential constraint error. Okay, another thing we see, that if you would like to insert null value, then it will accept it. There's no issue until or unless you have assigned not null to this column in the table for in the child table. Because if you have already set that constraint not null, then it will surely give error. But if you haven't applied any constraint on as of not null, then you can insert not null. Okay, so these are the two basic rule of the foreign key table, that we can insert data only if it is already exist in the parent table. If it is not in parent table, then it will give referential error. For separation, for deletion, updation, there is a separate rule that we will discuss in upcoming part, but for now we are just focused on the insertion process. So for example, you can consider that this is the customer table and this is the order table, as we have maintained the data, right? So we can insert new customer. Suppose this is my system, inventory system, where I can insert multiple customers. We can provide an option to register for the customer and they can register, right? But we can't create a new order which with some customer which is not there in the system, right? Because let's say if I'm trying to insert with 900, I'm inserting record that there is one order booked for customer 900, but customer 900 is not in our system, so that's why it is giving error, that it should not create any record if the customer is already not there in the parent table. Okay, and null we can insert because let's say we have created blank order and later whenever the customer is registered, in that case we can insert the customer ID there with by following some updation rule of the foreign key table. Okay, so these are some common rules that we have to follow before inserting data into the foreign key table. So I hope it is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.